I see, figure I'll make this quick video. I see online lately, people, a lot of gun accidents and people not being responsible with guns. And the number one rule when it comes to guns is treat the gun as it always loaded. The gun is always loaded. Even if you look at it, you put it away, the last time you put it away, the gun was not loaded. When you handle that weapon, treat it as it was loaded. And also, if it is loaded, how to properly handle that weapon and, deactivate the rounds and everything so you don't have an accidental discharge. For instance, I got right here a 45 ACP. First of all, when you handle a weapon like this, you always point it to a safe direction. Now, this weapon is fully loaded, one in the chamber, ready to go. So when you handle this weapon, you aim it into a safe place, you drop the clip, it's gonna be one in the chamber, you pull that. Then once you do that, you're gonna look at the chamber right there, make sure there is no bullets whatsoever on the weapon. Never point the weapon at anybody for any reason, not even joking around like, hey, look, and what have you, because that's what kills people. And this round right here is a flat nose. This thing will do serious damage. This is made to kill people and that's it. Not to target practice, not anything. This is for my house protection. I use that round. Hopefully I will never have to use that and discharge this weapon and in any capacity against somebody. But always point it to a safe direction. Treat it as it was always loaded, even when you close the chamber, right? And I just showed you this is unloaded. And I'm gonna put it right here. And I come back 10 minutes later. I'm gonna grab the weapon, finger off the trigger at all times. All time. The only time you put that finger in that trigger is when this is loaded and you point it at the target that you intend to shoot and you squeeze that trigger. Other than that, this will never go on the trigger finger whatsoever for any reason at all, period. Then you cock it back. You inspect the chamber right there. See, it's no bullet, and you leave it like that, and you put it down. Always aim it to a safe direction in case an accidental discharge. Never up. You could be on the first floor. You could be people upstairs. Always look around, see where you can aim that weapon at once you handle it, and then point it at that direction, and you safely handle the weapon. And this is not a toy. This is not something that you play around when your friends come over. Oh, look at this going. Oh, I should put a blank on it and make sure. This is how people get killed. Look what happened in that movie set. Another weapon that is very popular out there is this. Is an AR. Okay, see, my finger automatically goes here. Same thing. I know this weapon is not loaded, right? And also, they have flags that you can use here. Then you go back here. Then you look. It's not loaded. And you handle it the same way. Never point this at anybody. Never put your finger on the trigger. Always point it at a safe direction. And this is not a toy you can play with. This was a very high power rifle. This will do some damage. This will go through walls. It will go through the... Forget it. So, same thing with this. They have these flags. I have them over here. That you pull this back and then you put a flag here, which is a little plastic piece that goes into the chamber and it sticks out with a red type of flag to show you that this weapon is not loaded. Bolt action, same thing. And I got a shitload of weapons that different types of applications that you can use for different things, but they all pretty much have the same principle. So remember, it's always loaded. Always loaded. This gun right here, see, it's no magazine, it's no bullet on the chamber, but you treat this as it was loaded. I'm not going to point this at myself. I'm not going to point it at anybody else, even at this capacity right here, which is disabled. You do that, and you will never have a problem. Same time when you go to the range, and you're going to have fun at the range, you carry your ammunitions in one area, your weapon in a different area, separated from each other. Before you leave the house, you make sure that the weapon is empty and the trigger is secure and everything, in case an accident or something, and then somebody get a hold of that weapon, they can utilize that weapon. And once you get to the range, you open it, you pull the weapon out of the case or whatever, and you put it down after you check to make sure that it's, again, not loaded. Aiming down range, never to the side. Even when you hold the weapon to load it, never go like this down the fire line or whatever. Always point it to the front. Somebody goes into the range to change the target, and you put the weapon down, facing down, and make sure that it's unloaded, and you do not touch that weapon until that person come back into the fire line. Anybody down range, that weapon, you do not touch it. Even to play around, you don't touch the bullets, you don't touch anything. And it's discipline, it's responsibilities that you have to have when you own firearms. And it's not something that you can take for granted, because remember, once that bullet leaves that chamber, you can't call it back. You're going to attend to the consequences that comes with that. And a lot of times it's loss of life and loss of your freedom, or both. And this is not a joke, and it's sickening that I see online and I see in the news, accidental golden discharge, somebody shoot themselves with a gun. The movie said, I do not know, how can that possibly be? How could that happen? I have no idea, because even if you are in a movie set capacity, and the actor they hand them a firearm, they should have some protocols and some basic training that says, okay, you open that chamber, make sure that's a blank and what have you, and then not just grab the gun because somebody handed it to you and assume that because the person say that it's a blank round that you're gonna, because you leaving things open to very undesirable possibilities. Like, unfortunately, this lady got killed. Okay, same thing when somebody break into your house. Let's say you are home 2 o'clock in the morning. You and your family should have a protocol that you all go to one room, a secure room with a heavy duty lock, or what have you, with a lock that you can lock from inside and access to a phone, that you and your family can go into that room and you call the police and have them come to your house, and you explain to them what the threat is, and the police comes and they will deal with that, because that's what they do. That's what you pay taxes for them to be able to protect you. Now, if that person breach a certain perimeter that it represent an imminent threat to you and your family, and he's armed, then you have no choice but to put one in the head, two on the chest, one here and two here. Pang, pam, pam, or pam, pam, pam. That's it. And never shoot to wound, shoot to kill. The guy's in your house. But the fact that you own a gun doesn't give you the right to shoot somebody just because they break into your house either. Always call the police, have a plan, and if that can happen, ultimately, you have to protect your family, and that's it. And if you catch the guy and you tell him to freeze or drop whatever he has, and he turns around and he run out of the house, let him go. Let him go. Don't shoot nobody in the back. Don't, like I say, I mean, just because you have a weapon doesn't give you the right to just shoot people for what have you, Remember, it's consequences. Whether you think you're on the right or what have you, but it's a human life, and unless that person is presenting an imminent danger to you and your family, you do not discharge that weapon. So I was feeling compelled to do this right here because of all the stuff that has been going on every day, and what that happened is just giving these people more ammunition and more incentive to go into Congress, especially the anti-gun lobbyists, and you see, we gotta ban guns. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I have these weapons. I use them responsibly. Who's gonna tell the guy, the drug dealer, or the hooligan or what have you, with fully automatic machine guns? You think he's gonna obey gun laws? So you tell me that you're gonna take my guns, but then the criminals can be able to come into my house and rob me and take everything I got and everything I ever gonna have? Because you people don't understand the Second Amendment and what it is and what it stands for. That's why I'm an NRA lifetime member benefactor, the highest member you can achieve. I was a gun instructor with the NRA. I did a lot of things with weapons that kind of qualify me to know what I'm doing, what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff. So yeah, be safe. Safety is non-negotiable when it comes to firearms. Be responsible. And if anything you will remember from this, the gun is always loaded. You have to treat the weapon as it was always loaded, always pointed to a safe direction. When you clean your weapon, for Christ's sakes, make sure there is discharge, there is no bullet in the chamber, there is no clips, there is no. That's another thing I don't get it. I don't know how people get shot cleaning their own gun. I just beyond me. But I guess he's that type of person out there that they shouldn't have a weapon, I guess. Always loaded, pointing to a safe direction, finger off the trigger at all times. You will don't ever put your finger on that trigger unless you're ready to fire that weapon. Period. Just get used to this. Always this. That's it. Clowns kill. So, if we all follow the rules, we will never have any problems. And if you want to do gun legislations about it's no easy solution out there when it comes to these weapons. But let's start with criminals and take the guns out of their hands before you start coming to my house and tell me I can't have one. Because I will follow the Second Amendment to the letter. The right to bear arms against foreign and domestic. And that's pretty much it. Be responsible. Don't be that guy in the news.